All right, I'm here with jordan.wav, who is being
How's it
included
going?
in Rocksmith Plus this week with a single song. So I just want to find out a bit about your deal, I guess. So what's your background in music and how did you start playing guitar?
Ideal. I started playing guitar mainly because I liked School of Rock. I liked Jack Black in that movie. I thought it was a great performance. I thought I really envied the kid and how he just kind of like picked up. Well, he didn't pick up guitar. Obviously, he was a very skilled acoustic guitarist before that. Getting into the lore of School of Rock. I liked that movie. I also liked. My dad really liked the show called The Wonder Years with Fred Savage.
Yep.
And there was that one episode where the kid in that played guitar, and like I saw both of these around the same time. So like, sorry, I also my mic is on this like weird stand, so sometimes you'll hear like the spring pluck. It's really annoying.
Nice. My cats
Um,
do that sometimes.
yeah, I gotta get a better stand for this. But I saw both of those things around the same time, so that's when I started begging my parents to get me a guitar, and they did, and then I just took couple years of lessons up until around like high school, and then I kind of stopped because I was playing lots of StarCraft, and I took like a big guitar hiatus just to play lots and lots of as much StarCraft as possible, and then I eventually got bored of that, got back into guitar, um, played in bands in university, and then I graduated like around COVID time, which is when I started posting a lot on Instagram. When my girlfriend convinced me to get TikTok, and I made lots of videos, and then it just kind of went from there.
Wow. It's funny because in the music game community, usually the thing that stops people from like playing music games is World of Warcraft. So it's just funny that you have the
Did I say
stars.
Warcraft?
No, you said StarCraft,
Okay,
but
okay,
like,
okay, yeah,
but
yeah.
I was just thinking about like how those parallels of those types of games.
Yeah, I
Uh,
was talking to someone yesterday. I was talking to one of my friends from like a Toronto band, and he said that like one of his old band members, who's like an amazing sax prodigy, completely quit music, like quit music entirely. Like I don't know if that's like maybe he was like embellishing a little bit, but like quit music entirely to become a video game developer. And I was like crazy how like video games can kind of just come in and take it over, right?
they're very powerful
Rarely hear
time
about people.
sinks.
Yeah, you really hear about people completely quitting music
So what's your relationship with Rocksmith like as a whole?
as a whole. Like my relationship with the game or with like the
Well, the game. So like have you played it in the past or recently?
yes. So recently with with the developers letting me try it out, and of course they want me to be able to play my own song on it. So I've been playing it a bit. I've been kind of relearning it. It also isn't that helpful because I don't have Windows, so like I wasn't really able to play it on my Mac. So I had to borrow my parents' iPad to play it so I could on like a bigger screen. But like initially, it was one of my friends in university. He had Rocksmith, and he was already like a guitarist before that. But he played it on like PS3, and he let me have a go at it. And this was after I had been playing for like 10 years, so it's kind of like it's interesting because you have to learn like
Yeah, the visual
immediately
tablature. Yeah.
the visual tablature, yeah, which like you can pick it up after like fairly quickly, but is I never really got deep into it because of that. It was kind of like I'd have to start from scratch playing all these very easy songs, just easing myself into it. So I didn't really return to it until maybe like a month ago when they actually gave me access to it.
True. It makes sense to me. How were you approached to have your song in Rocksmith Plus?
So I wasn't approached directly by Rocksmith. I did a lot of like I did some promotional stuff, not on like like a it was on an informal basis with Ernie Ball.
Ah,
So
okay.
they took me on as an artist back in like 2020. I want to say 2022, maybe 2021, maybe earlier. Um, and I did a couple promotional things for them on an informal basis, and then sometime around December, Yeah, the artist relations Tim, he basically said like, hey, Nam's coming up, you're gonna be there, Rocksmith might be there, like, do you want to see them, do you want to hang out with them, like, do you want to just meet these guys? And I was like, sure, why not, like, because Rocksmith was on my radar. I knew, the whole deal. I kind of thought like, yeah, it would make sense, like, I'd like to, because it wasn't set up as like a, we want you to do promo for them. It was more just like, do you want to meet them, do you want to talk to them? Unfortunately they weren't at Nam, so then after I just hopped on a video call, and I kind of had this thing in my mind of like, wouldn't it be cool to have a song? And when I actually got to talking to them, it was still very informal. Like, there was no sort of like, we want you to do this, we're proposing this. It was more just like, hey, the people that are involved, they like you. We just want to talk to you, see what was up. Like, if there's any way that you want to work together, maybe. And the main thing I just kind of said in that meeting was, I think it'd be really cool to have a song on Rocksmith. Like, is that a possibility? And they were like, sure, we can get you in touch with the licensing guy, and we can get this ball rolling.
Wow.
So
So
that's
that's
kind of how it came to be.
so that's like about like 6 months almost.
Yeah, a very long process. I think it's also because they've been, as you kind of showed on your website, they've been working on licensing with other people. So me as this kind of single individual, right? Well, they're busting out weekly updates. It's kind of just like, yeah, we'll get this guy's song on eventually.
Well, I mean, it's interesting because I think this might be the first song they've licensed through DistroKid, I imagine, or
Probably, I'm not too sure how
yeah.
what their other deals look like with other artists. You know.
So, when you started like playing music, what were some of your goals with like guitar, just music in general, and have those changed like over the years?
Oh, they've definitely changed. It's been a moving target. Like, I kind of had the tiger parents that pushed me into, they didn't push me in. I did want to go to university and stuff like that, and study and get my degrees and whatnot. But I don't think I ever had grand fantasies of becoming a rock star. I definitely wanted to become like a guitar god. I listened to lots of Steve Vai and lots of Joe Satriani and Guthrie Govan, and like, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to be like those guys. But I kind of always had kind of realism. And nowadays it's more just community based stuff. Like, I like kind of integrating into the wider online community, and I just kind of like pushing out my singles. I like making music. Um, I've always liked making music. So it's just kind of developing my bands, constantly adjusting my expectations. I think that's a very important thing, but also it is an important thing to sort of have an end goal. Um, right now, I just kind of want to put out as much music as possible. So that's kind of my goal, is just, I have my day job, I do that, I work, make content to promote the stuff that I have out now, and it's a nice little balance.
What video like really made you popular on TikTok, do you think?
Oh, obviously the what's it called? Running my guitar through videos. Those ones. That's the one. Those are the ones that really popped off. I think they had a good balance of, um, I don't know. I guess like whatever the appeal of those like 5-minute craft videos are, kind of just like outrageous with realism, and just kind of like a little bit of mystery to it and whatnot. And I got lots of engagement of people saying like, we want you to do this, and it was really really fun. And then at a certain point, I just got so bored of making them that I kind of just, and a lot of people, they saw through the mystery of it, and it just kind of felt weird keeping it going. So I decided to just stick with my usual ever changing content.
Why the name jordan.wav?
Um, it was initially to match someone that I was like seeing at the time, had theirs as a .jpeg. So like, initially it was just my first and last name, and then to match theirs, I did .wave, and then after I stopped seeing them, I just kind of kept it. You know.
It's a good summation, I guess, of relationship. You kept their file extension.
Exactly, exactly. It's like keeping the name after the divorce, you
Yeah,
know? Like,
exactly.
yeah.
What do you think of the music scene in Toronto? Just like in general.
My honest thoughts, because I'm not the arbiter of. It's such a big scene. There's so many sub scenes that like I'm not a part of that I don't want to like judge, but there's lots of great venues that have a very, very dedicated patronage that, like it's always bumping. Like think about places like Drom Taberna or Lee's Palace, a lot of very, very popular scenes, right? But at the same time, a lot of the when I'm talking to different people that work at various studios, a lot of them say like the biggest advice that they have for Toronto artists is get out of Toronto. Like
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that. I have a lot of musician friends, and yeah,
yeah, it's
especially.
unfortunate. Like I don't know what it is. Like I think my personal theory is that like Toronto has a big clubbing culture and like a big kind of clubbing vibrant nightlife, but when it comes to actually seeing bands, like a lot of people, they're not terribly interested in that. Like even when you go to a place like Sneaky D's, right? They'll often have bands play until 10:30 and then kick everyone out to start emo night.
Yeah,
Or same as Supermarket, right? Like they'll have bands come on just to like let people play, get a couple people in the room, and then they'll close down to turn the bar into a club. So like it's a weird sentiment. I do think that I'm not to say that it isn't impossible to find success because it's such a big city. You're always going to be able to find a scene. It's always good to just make connections, play as many shows as possible. um, while keeping in mind it's good to turn down specific shows and specific venues, right? It's good to keep your ear to the ground, make sure that you are aware of scene politics, scene drama, things like that. But you know, that's just a couple of my disorganized thoughts about the Toronto music scene.
that makes sense. Places like Cameron House versus like playing like. Well, I guess you would want to play at Velvet now because it's like a big venue.
Oh yeah, if I'm gonna openly throw shade at any venue, I don't care if they if they blacklist me from Tail of the Junction.
Wow.
I'm sorry if the Tail of the Junction people are listening to this. You can blacklist me. It's fine. I'll
I'll
survive.
survive.
Oh no, I can never go back there. Oh shit. Oh no.
What's
Sorry if I
this?
can't swear on this.
No, it's fine. What's a section of your song that's coming into Rocksmith Plus? It's not that serious that you think people might have trouble with, and maybe you could like do a little demonstration.
Shit, the ending. Mainly because like a lot of my, not a lot of my songs, but like a lot of parts of my songs are like improvised. There's a lot of improvisational sections, like especially when I'm playing them live. And the end, I just kind of wanted like my entire thought for that like little end bit was just I want a big rock ending. Like I just want to go for it because I was just thinking like in all of my songs like there's never a part where I just go for it and I just kind of like give it my all and shred it out a bit. So that's kind of how I ended this one. And I was very happy that they were able to get that out and tab it out because I couldn't tab that out. I could barely replicate it myself perfectly.
Yeah, they're pretty good at
Like,
that.
yeah, we have a plan for when we play this one live. I'm just gonna start like dropping ironic quotes in it, maybe like do a little Flight of the Bumblebee or something, like just some fun stuff. But um, in terms of a demonstration, I don't know if I can do better than whoever tapped it in the song. I just hope people. I hope people play the song. I hope people enjoy it. I hope people learn from it. And yeah, I'm. I don't even know if I can 100% that last part. So we'll see.
So you seen the full transcription?
Yes.
Oh, okay, and you're happy with it?
Oh, definitely.
Oh,
It
okay.
is accurate. It is accurate. They did a great job.
Oh, awesome. So is it just when you recorded it? Do you record it off the floor, like guitar, bass, and drums, or did you
Well, with this
multi-track
with
it?
this particular one, I didn't multi-track it. I just kind of everything is samples except for the guitar.
Oh,
So
okay.
like even the bass, I just for that one I just found like a very very punchy like bass preset in Logic. Like I have my layers because I wanted something that I'm very inspired by Owain, who has a bit of a similar vibe in terms of like programmed drums, programmed bass, and everything like that. And I just kind of thought that like for the next couple like releases and everything, I have this one kind of bass preset that I just love. It's just such a punch sound to it. So that's what's on the recording.
How many guitars do you own, and what's your like main guitar?
How many guitars? I have many guitars.
Are we
I probably
talking?
have 10 in my apartment right now, and I store a bunch at my parents' place.
Oh, okay. I
Um,
think I have like about eight and two basses and a classical.
Nice. I get that question a lot, but there's always some that I like just kind of forget because I haven't played them in a while. They're just kind of stored somewhere.
Yeah, like
But I feel
sentimental first guitars that like you don't actually want to play, but they're just you can't get rid of them.
yeah,
It's
or
fun.
like when I do you like user generated content or brand deals, I always would feel weird about selling it after, even if it's a great guitar. Like I would rather because my older brother plays guitar, so I usually pawn them off on him and say like, hey, do you wanna indefinitely borrow this so I have space in my apartment? So I feel weird about selling them. Even though I shouldn't. I know that's a normal thing that a lot of demoers do. But my favorite by far is my Charvel, my pink Charvel. It's been with me not the longest, but it has a that indefinable quality in terms of like the neck feels great, the finish feels great on my forearm as I'm playing it. I don't talk about that enough, but like the matted finish, it matters, right? When you're playing, um, on like smoother finishes, your sweat kind of gets all weird and sticky and gummy and it's not comfortable. But like the Charvel is completely comfortable all the time, weight wise, perfectly balanced on my body. I can't sing enough praises, and I can't send enough emails to Charvel A&R about, hey, do you want to please? I know I don't wear a denim jacket. Call myself like, I don't know, Tommy Sticks or whatever their ideal artist is, but I promise I'll be good.
What's your what's your preference? You because I know you play a headless guitar sometimes. Do you have any like preference like weight wise on like what you'll play at a live gig or something like that?
Like weight wise, as long as it's light. I recently got a Fender Telecaster Deluxe, which is incredibly heavy. It's like I think this was them trying to make some kind of like floating bridged Gibson like guitar.
Yeah,
And I
that
took it
sounds
to a
about right.
rehearsal once, and it was like, after about an hour, I was like, damn, I'm really feeling this. And like I'm getting old. My back is not what it used to be. So I do prefer like very, very light. I like the Strandberg, um, like not even in terms of weight, but just the sheer size of it. Like it's just, the feeling of it on your back. Like I'm ducking less in hallways and stuff like that,
Yeah.
in dingy DIY setups. Like it just kind of it's very, very easy to take around. Got a good case too. Strandberg is also like my main recording guitar, just because the pickups are like I've learned over time that uh, humbuckers and hardtails are like, as much as I love single coils and the sound, like humbuckers and hardtails are just infinitely more practical in terms of like less noise issues live and recording, also less tuning issues live and recording. It's just a bitch to have to deal with those kinds of things in different settings, and that's why you'll probably notice that lots of session guitarists, lots of touring guys, they don't mess around with floating bridges and buzzy pickups and stuff like that. You just get the job done.
Did you record on that one for this song or?
Yeah,
Oh, okay, that's what I figured.
pretty much all of my recordings have been either that or my Music Man, either one of my Music Man Luke 3s.
So you have Rocksmith Plus on the iPad. Have you tried the piano expansion by any chance? Like, do you have a keyboard?
I have a like a synth that I use as a keyboard, but I'm bad. I can't really do piano.
You could learn.
I could start from scratch.
Yeah, I've been playing like with Rocksmith Plus from like ground up since October, and like now when I go to a jam space and there's a piano, I can kind of like play a few things now, like kind of like
Working
more
on
than before.
like what songs are you working on now on piano?
Oh, like mostly I found that stuff from The Cure is like really satisfying and easy to kind of like play. And I've said it, I've gone on record a few times about how I don't like Coldplay, but unfortunately like their songs are really fun to play on piano, like right hand
I can
mostly,
imagine.
because
Yeah.
like once you start getting both hands in, it's kind of like I described it as like you're playing drums with your fingers, because you're like trying to coordinate. It's like more rhythmic than what you would, I guess, in your mind expect when you like approach a piano. It's kind of like hitting things more like a drummer more than like strings, I guess, on a guitar, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
It's like that right left hand independence that really gets you, you know.
Yeah.
I prefer just I work hard enough trying to get both my hands to work together on guitar, so get them to do their own thing, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, that tracks. Do you think that visual tablature, like Rocksmith Plus, has advantages to sheet music or tab books?
I would need to, before I can make an informed decision on that, I need to, dive into it a bit more. Um, you know, I'm mostly a tab guy. Well, nowadays I do mostly just like ear. When I learn songs, I rarely learn songs ever these days, honestly, unless it's like for a TikTok. Even then, I'll just kind of learn it by ear and then have, you know, a bunch of comments saying you played it
Yeah,
wrong.
you played that bend is actually on the 16th fret on the.
Yeah, I'm like, damn. I hope you don't lose sleep over it. um, but yeah, no, I could definitely see how visual tablature and learning and everything. But it's also just the measuring progress way of doing it, right? Like sort of measuring how well you're doing, having that instant feedback, right? I feel like that's something that you're never gonna get from tabs, right? Like it's never gonna teach you the timing and stuff like that,
Yeah,
unless you get into sheet music. But even then,
the spatial kind of like visual of like the notes kind of like really helps you, I find, like lock into a song a way that like Guitar Pro for me never really clicked that way.
yeah. And also like I remember learning songs on tabs. It would always get to that point, usually like when I'm trying to learn like a Megadeth song and it gets to the guitar solo, and I'm like, no, no way, I'm ever gonna play that, right? I feel like having the ability to like key out that certain section, slow it down, have that, and also like the goal in mind of like I want to 100% the song, or like I want to get a good grade on this song. It kind of encourages you to return to it rather than anytime I see anything intimidating on a song on a tab, I'm like, damn, I'm dipping. Not worth it.
Have you been playing like other songs? Have you found anything interesting, like playing along to Rocksmith Plus?
I'm still in like the Joan Jett phase of like
Have you
the
tried the
Twisted Sister.
Have you tried the
Sorry,
tab view, like the full screen
I
tab?
haven't.
Oh,
I
okay.
haven't. Yeah,
Might want to check that out. Could help a little bit.
hopefully.
So, well, I guess going from there, what's your prediction for your score on your own song?
For my first time playing it,
Yeah.
oh, less than 50.
You think it's
I have no clue. I think I might pass if I it's just that last part, that last part it'll be a little tricky, but we'll see. It'll Chain Brain will beat me to it probably if he gives it a crack.
I think I don't know how many like creators you like watch, or if you're familiar with like Ellison, who does the videos for the Riff Repeater. Usually doesn't wear pants. That's his thing, and he has cats.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he said he might stay up till midnight his time to try the song, to have the video out on
Hell yeah.
tomorrow.
That's gonna be me, so we'll see who gets it out first. Damn, Ellison. I gotta
Yeah, he says he's gonna get the 100% before you.
honestly.
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Got the home field advantage.
So where can people follow you to hear more of your music and all that?
Yes, you can follow any of my pages, Jordan Wave, on all platforms, or WAV, however you want to pronounce it. Um, you can follow me on Spotify. That's the main platform I want you to follow me on. That would be cool. I'd appreciate it. I got a new song out. It's a match. That one's not going to be on Rocksmith, but you can still listen to it. It's easy enough to play. Probably you can figure it out. That's about it.
And you're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're on Threads, you're on X,
Whenever
formerly known as
yes.
Twitter. You have the Facebook.
I have an X account, but I haven't posted on it since about September of 2022.
Well, we tagged you in the big reveal for the song.
Perfect. I'll sign in again to have a look at that.
And YouTube, which has like a lot of your has a playthrough video too that we were checking out on our Discord.
Yeah, if you need some spoiler alerts. I'm on Reddit if you can find my username. It's not Jordan Wave.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us, and maybe we'll see a Rocksmith Plus playthrough video from you as well.
Sure, let's do it. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. This was fun.
All right. Rock on.